Hello and welcome to episode 75 of Pentagon for Gold, where today we are playing against Villarreal in the Europa League in the round of 32, I believe. It's the first round of the first knockout round, and that gives us a chance to look to beat Villarreal. And let's see who else is in this group. Sevilla, Hertha Berlin. Hertha Berlin must be quite good at this point, given they always have absolutely tons of money, but only okay finances. So presuming that means they've spent a lot of money recently. They did win the Bundesliga as recently as 29-30. That's just quite a long time ago now. But yeah, there's some good teams in this. Let's see who was in the group stage. Tottenham, Leverkusen, Lazio, Sociedad, Roma, and others. So it's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but we've got a good chance here. As you can see here, we've generally been in good form, apart from a brief period where we drew with Inter Milan, a late goal from Inter denying us the victory. Pretty bad loss to Napoli before beating them 1-0 in the home leg, and a draw 1-0 against Empoli. Since that Liverpool game in the Champions League, we've won every game outside of that little 3-game period. And that puts us in a good position. We are still first in the league, as you can see here, 3 points ahead of Inter Milan. And it's not going to be easy to stay there, but we still have a good chance. And yeah, the Europa League is where we're really looking to do the damage and try and get, top of, as one of the top seeds. If we win the Europa League, that's going to be the case. So let's hope that we can do that and, make sure that next season we have a much better chance in the Champions League. We don't need to be quite as impressive as we would need to be to get through a group of Barcelona and Liverpool. You may have noticed that Manuel Mino was doing quite well, and he's been in slightly ridiculous form this year. 27 goals and 2 assists in 24 Serie A games, 5 goals and 1 assist in the Champions League, with 1 goal and 3 assists in the Coppa Italia. He is such a good player. I don't know how much he can improve, currently playing at close to his full potential, but he has really settled into life in Europe. He's gone from, a decent goal to game ratio to getting over 1 goal a game, and he's not showing any signs of stopping. I absolutely love this guy. It's a pretty standard lineup for today's game, with Frank and Belly at the centre of our defence, Gentilini on the left. Sorrentino plays in defensive midfield in place of Alexander Andres, just trying to give him a bit of a rest because he's played quite a lot recently. And then we've got Diaz and Katic in the midfield, as Hannibal is a little bit injured. In reality, there's probably a couple of weeks left on his injury. It's only a yellow injury, so he's okay, I think, but ideally we don't want to be injuring him further because he has been our main creator and scorer of goals outside of Mino. So really we don't want to be damaging him any more than he already is. He's had a couple of injuries this season, but generally he's been outstanding when he's played. And that's really good news for us when he has been playing. As you can see, he's not fully fit, even with that injury. But we're trying to protect him as much as possible. Diaz can do the job. Katic can hopefully do the job. And Sorrentino we know we can rely on. We're definitely going to need to sign some midfielders next season. We're also going to need to sign some wingers, probably some fullbacks, particularly because Kijana Hoover is actually leaving at the end of the season on a free. He's 32, so I didn't think it was worth giving him a new contract for $300,000 a week. And we're going to need a new goalkeeper. We're going to need to upgrade a lot of the team. I think probably Frank, Sorrentino, Andres and Mino are going to be the only players who are completely safe with their position. Belly probably will be fine as well. And Agimon will definitely stay as a backup at least. Gentilini is very good. Might need a backup left back. So most of the team are going to see themselves at least considering being replaced. But Carpentieri doing his best to avoid that with this not early goal, 39th minute goal. Or 40th minute goal against Villarreal, but that was the first chance that we saw from this game, and it was a good finish in the end. And now he's here to take the corner, headed out by Gonzalez, and Dogan picks up the pieces Katic finds Carpentieri and Migno exchanges passes with him. Can't quite slip the pass back through to Carpentieri. The clearance only out to Frank though, and now Dogan loses the ball to Mateus on the right hand side. Keeps rebounding between the two teams, but Katic finds Agimon. Unusual pass into Sorrentino, whose shot just clips off the post. That really wasn't far off. But yeah, we've been the better team so far. Let's be encouraging rather than actually praise filled. We don't want to give the players the idea that they've already got through. We also don't want to upset them by saying that they've been rubbish. They haven't been rubbish. But we're also not there yet. So really we need to just stay as we are at the moment. Ideally get another goal. 2-0 home victory would be very good. Give us a good chance of getting through this game. Diaz finds Agimon. Crosses it towards Migno. Headed out away only to Katic. Now Gentilini has a ton of space on the left hand side. Beats his man nicely, and it looked like it was saved, but actually seems to have come off the post. That's unlucky. And now Villarreal with the throw on the left hand side, thrown in by Nielsen only to Diaz, and that's a really good ball into Dogan. Can he finish? He can't. Oh, it's really well saved. That did not look like a save at all. It looked like he just scooped it wide, but it must have been a phenomenal save. Difficult chance to stop really, but I guess we can't be too harsh on Dogan then. Could do with Migno getting a little bit more involved in this game, only a 6.4 so far, but we know that he is a player capable of springing into life at any moment. And we're getting towards the stage of the game where we'd look to make some subs. Diaz definitely needing replacing. Get Andres on. Probably have Sorrentino play as the Mazzala, and Andres can play as the defensive midfielder. Carpentieri also tired, sad because he's done very well this game. But we'll get a Saul Funnel on now at 3-star. I think he was at 2.5-star in the last episode. Good to see him back up to the levels that we know he's capable of. Gentilini finds Andres. Returns the ball back to Gentilini. Now Funnel in decent shooting position. Andres though sweeps it out to Gentilini on the left hand side. Lots of space to cross into. Gets another chance. Ooh, off the bar from Dogan. That really wasn't far off. And just clipped the bar in the end. Unlucky not to score there. I think we'll just get a final substitution on. Let's get Kajano Hoover on for Agimon. Similar level of player. Bit older. But still, he's still got some pace. Despite being 32 on here. Yeah, he's capable of at least keeping up with the play. So it's not too much of a risk to put him in. We could really do with a bit more depth in our squad though. When you're bringing on a right back that's not really to shore up the defence or get a bit more crossing ability, it's just to give yourself some fresh legs. You could really do with some more options either in midfield or on the wings. That's a poor pass from Dogan. Cleared out to Belly though. Can he create something here? Funnel. Sorrentino has lots of space for Hoover on the right hand side here. Finds Sorrentino and it's 2-0. Great play, really good finish from Sorrentino. Nice little reverse pass from Hoover. And that is 2-0 to Juve. Can we avoid a late goal conceded that would probably, it would probably be fine anyway, but you don't want to be giving away the away goal, at least in FM21. Now that FM22 has come out, I suspect there won't be the away goals rule because I don't think that's the thing in real life anymore. But I'm going to try and finish this series before we get to FM22 properly. Likely, I'm probably going to go simple and go for the Newcastle career. I know it's a little bit overdone right now, but I think it would just be fun, be fun to get in anyone that we want really at a team that's not quite at that level yet, but can be pretty quickly with the amount of money that they have. That's 3-0. Serhat Dogan was the instigator of the goal, but it's going down as a Maltino own goal. That's very harsh on the goalkeeper. Probably a bit harsh on Villarreal. 2-0 seemed fair to me. But yeah, so the beta, once I've got it, will probably be with Newcastle. And beyond that, I do not know. But we will be looking into various saves, and I'm sure we'll have a great time with whatever we do. They pulled one back, so that's kind of negated that little third goal that was not particularly impressive. First shot on target, nice one, Sarakaya. Can't be too harsh on him. He was okay, but yeah, 3-1, and that's a pretty good result in the first leg of the first knockout round. Let's see if we can do similarly in the second leg. We've actually made a bid for Maselake Morole, who is at Jang at the moment, but actually was at Cape Town Spurs. He recently left for 725k. After a season, we're now trying to buy him for 30 million. It's quite a jump up, and it's annoying that I didn't see him beforehand, but he actually signed for Jiangsu about 3 years ago, just couldn't transfer there until recently. But he looks pretty good, and he's 2.5 star currently, 4.5 star potential, so I thought, why not get him? He looks pretty impressive. So it's a similar squad to last time. We have brought in Mattis de Ligt as our right centre-back. Frank therefore moves to the left-hand side while Belly drops out entirely onto the bench. Papetti also makes it onto the bench. So we've got quite a lot of centre-back options for this game. Andres takes the place of Sorrentino, perhaps harshly. Sorrentino was very good last game, but I think it's worth just giving him a rest. And yeah, we're going for a strong squad just to try and make sure that we don't take our eyes off the ball in this game, because it would be very easy to do. And yeah, early on Villarreal have a chance. Mateus heading over the bar, and Sarakaya not looking overly worried there, to be honest. Can we try and get a bit more of a hold on the game? It's not really been particularly exciting chance-wise. 3 shots off target for Villarreal, 1 for us, but we are controlling the possession, so in reality their chances aren't necessarily likely to be amazing unless they're countering very effectively. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 system, very big distance between the defensive midfield and attacking midfield positions. Whether that works brilliantly, I don't know. You might say it doesn't. Oh, that's a good strike from Agimon. Perhaps the keeper should have done better, but he got some power behind that, the right back. And that puts us in a really strong position, because we've now cancelled out that away goal from Villarreal. And you'd expect that would mean that we'll be heading through. We're hoping to win this tournament, of course. Whether we do so, I don't know. Our expectation from the board is to get to the semis. There's a few good teams in this tournament. It seems to be quite a strong group of teams compared to usual. But we could do with, really doing our best, trying to. If we can win this tournament, even if we don't win the league, we'll be one of the top seeds. So it would be really useful to do as well as we can in this tournament. And also an extra continental trophy doesn't go amiss in a Pentagon challenge. Serhat Dogan is brought down by Uriarte. No card for presumably the Uruguayan. And yeah, we're doing well. Let's keep the boys motivated. Don't want any slip-ups. But I think we're probably pretty safe at this point. We really are controlling the game on chances as well as possession now. And here's Serhat Dogan. Oh, and that's surely a penalty. Looked like Nielsen took him out. Now whacked clear to Frank, who tidies up pretty easily. Finds Sarakaya and de Ligt now building from the back into Hannibal and Andres. Exchanging a couple of passes. Finds Minho with a really good ball, and Minho can't finish. Carpentieri not quite as effective in this game as he was in the last. Can he prove me wrong though? Oh, surely Hannibal's got to be doing better there. Had all of the goal to aim at and aimed directly at the goalkeeper. A bit disappointing really. Andres and Hannibal once again exchanging passes. Not the greatest pass from Hannibal. Can't find Minho, and now Villarreal looking to build from the back. But it's well headed clear by Frank into Dogan, who looks to take on his man. Finds Andres nicely, and Hannibal's shot is blocked, but Diaz finds Carpentieri and looks like he's offside, or Minho is actually. I'm not really sure that Minho actually played much of a role in that game, in that play, but seemed to be enough that the linesman pulled it back for offside. Katic can come on as a box-to-box midfielder. A bit complacent, but I guess given the position we're in, it's not entirely surprising that the players would feel that way. Let's get Kajana Hoover, get him a bit more match fit, because we've allowed some of our players to slip out of shape. And I think probably we'll get Hannibal off just to protect him. He's had an injury recently. Don't want him to be overly strained. Don't want to risk another injury. And we should see this game out pretty comfortably, putting us through to the round of 16 in the Europa League. Can we get a late goal just to stamp our superiority over Villarreal? Looks more likely that Villarreal will get a goal on the counter. And he finds Alonso. And that's a good save from Sarakaya. Really did step up to the plate. And another chance perhaps for Villarreal with El Bari, and that's a good tackle from Carpentieri. Really, really powerful tackle. Did well to get back and win that. And Katic wins the ball off Rodriguez. Can he launch a counter-attack of our own? Dogan. And it's a good tackle from Pedro Luis, who then whacks it directly out of play for no apparent reason. And that will surely be the end of that. But we do have one last chance with the ball up in the Villarreal penalty box. And that is that. So, a 4-1 victory on aggregate. Wonder how the other teams got on in this round of 32. I think probably the teams that top the groups in the Europa League won't have played in that round. I think it's usually the second place teams playing against the teams that drop down from the Champions League, which makes sense given that we are one of the teams that dropped down from the Champions League. Let's see what happens. So Copenhagen, Sevilla, Standard, Ajax, PSV, Benfica and Hertha all making it through, with most of them looking reasonably comfortable. Ajax particularly with a 7-2 victory over Young Boys, and Copenhagen beating PAOK 5-2 on aggregate, but only they lost their second leg 2-1, so they must have won 5-0 at home, and then lost 2-1 away. That is not very common. But yeah, we'll come back for our next game, which will be against Monaco. Not the easiest of draws, I wouldn't have thought. They are 5th in Ligue 1 with Laurent Blanc as their manager. Al-Shish rather, is their star player. They've also got Tonali, and then a few players who are regens. You'd imagine, because they often end up with a lot of good players who are regens, who have low values but end up costing a lot if you try and buy them. You'd imagine that they will be a decent opposition. We should be able to beat them, I think. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channels. It really helps me out. Hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a fantastic day.